Gas stations are closing across Russia. A prominent Russian propagandist and a husband of Margarita Simonyan has died, and Belarus has deployed Oreshnik missiles. The top stories coming up next. Breaking news overnight in Russia: drones have struck an oil pumping stations in Chuvashia, forcing operations to be temporarily halted. Oleg Nikolaev, head of the Chuvash Republic, confirmed the attack, saying it was an attempt using drones. The strike hit the station near the settlement of Konar in the Zivilsky district. Officials say the damage is minor, but the station has been temporarily shut down. The station, known as Tinhovato, is a part of the Almetskyevsk-Gorky pipeline and is operated by Transneft Prikamye. Explosions were not limited to just one region overnight on September 27th. Russian media reported 5 to 7 blasts on the outskirts of Volgograd. Authorities said drones tried to fly at low altitude along the Volga River toward a local facility. Volgograd Governor Andrei Bacharov said the region's air defenses shot down the drones. Authorities also temporarily restricted aircraft arrivals and departures in the city. Rostov Governor Yuri Slusar reported a similar large-scale drone attack in his region. By morning, the Russian Ministry of Defense said its air defenses intercepted and destroyed a total of 55 drones overnight across several regions, including Rostov, Bryansk, Astrakhan, Voronezh, Volgograd, Kursk, and Belgorod. Gas stations are closing across Russia, and the fuel crisis is expected to get worse. Most of the country's refineries are located in western Russia, which makes them more vulnerable to Ukrainian strikes, according to Ukrainian Foreign Intelligence Service.
1 in every 50 gas stations in Russia has stopped selling petrol. Over the past 2 months, the number of gas stations has decreased by 360, or 2.6%. Independent stations were hit the hardest, with their numbers dropping by 4.1%, while stations owned by vertically integrated oil companies saw a decline of only 0.8%.
The hardest hit region is Russia's Southern Federal District, where more than 220 gas stations, about 14.2% of the total, have stopped selling petrol. In Rostov Oblast, the Republic of Mari-El, and the Jewish Autonomous Region, the number of stations has dropped by 12 to 14%. Fuel shortages also being felt in Moscow, as well as Moscow and Leningrad region. In the capital, Lukoil has even banned the sale of petrol in containers. Meanwhile, in temporarily occupied Crimea, gas stations have completely run out of all petrol brands. Sergei Aksionov, head of the local occupation administration, told residents to be patient and blamed the shortage on lower production at Russian refineries. Belarus announced that it has deployed Oreshnik on its territory. Belarusian dictator Alexander Lukashenko thanked Vladimir Putin, saying the move has made Belarus a nuclear state. Meanwhile, the country's foreign minister Maxim Ryzhnikov said Belarus was forced to host Oreshnik to guarantee its own security.
We had no other choice. Belarus was forced to host Russian tactical nuclear weapons on its territory to guarantee its security. For the same reasons, Russian Oreshnik ballistic missiles will also be deployed in Belarus. We are not engaging in a reckless arms race, and we are not provoking further confrontation.
Andrei Kovalenko, head of Ukraine's Center for Countering Disinformation under the National Security and Defense Council, described these statements as a Russian information operation.
Belarus has hosted a Russian information operation called Oreshnik. Its second launch failed. It didn't even lift off on time, but Russia hasn't told anyone about it.
Let's recall that the first launch of Oreshnik took place in November 2024, when Russia struck Dnipro. The missile, part of Russia's ongoing military escalation, targeted key infrastructure in the city, raising international concern at that time. Tigran Keosayan, pro-Kremlin propagandist, Russian director and TV host, has died. His wife, Margarita Simonyan, editor-in-chief of Russia Today, confirmed he passed away on the night of September 26 after months in coma. Keosayan was a vocal supporter of the Kremlin since the start of the full-scale invasion. He repeatedly called Ukraine government illegitimate, denied Donbass belongs to Ukraine, and claimed Crimea has always been Russian. Even in 2021, he boldly claimed Russia will be in Kiev, pushing narratives that justified attacks on Ukrainians.
We will definitely be in Kiev, sooner or later, and most likely sooner. I don't want to disappoint you.
After the Russian invasion of Ukraine, Keosayan repeatedly called for harsh measures, urging Russian authorities to use nuclear weapons and even strike Kiev. On his own show, International Pilorama, he regularly aired anti-Ukrainian propaganda, portraying Ukraine as a weak country, criminal, corrupt, and dependent on the West. Keosayan also questioned the territorial integrity of countries beyond Ukraine. He once suggested that Russia should take back Alaska, and in 2022 he criticized Kazakhstan, calling it a country with artificial borders and accusing its government of Russophobia. Kazakhstan treated this as a threat to its own sovereignty and added Keosayan to its persona non grata list, the same register that includes terrorists. Hungary's Foreign Minister Peter Szijjártó claimed that Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is losing it over anti-Hungarian sentiment. This came after Ukrainian authorities reported the possible incursion of Hungarian drones into Ukraine, claims that Szijjártó rejected.
President Volodymyr Zelensky is losing it over anti-Hungarian sentiment. Now he's even seeing ghosts.
Early on Friday, President Volodymyr Zelensky said Ukraine's armed forces commander-in-chief Alexander Syrsky reported drone incidents along the Ukrainian-Hungarian border. The drones may have been gathering intelligence on industrial sites near the border. Ukrainian Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiga fired back at Hungarian counterpart Peter Szijjártó, accusing Hungary of playing into Moscow's hands.
We are starting to see a lot of things, Peter, including your government's hypocrisy and moral degradation, open and covert work against Ukraine and the rest of Europe, serving as a Kremlin lackey. No amount of your attacks on our president will change what we and everyone see.
That's all for now. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe, and let us know your thoughts in the comments.